Good morning, eighth graders. Welcome to our technology class. This is week 39. So a couple of announcements. This is the last week in the quarter, so I need to have all of your assignments by Friday. That's the 11th, if you would like it to count towards your fourth quarter grade. So I will, as I've been allowing you to turn things in late, we do take 10 points off for every week that it's late, but it's better to get a 70 than to get a 0, right? So if you are behind and you're missing anything, you still can submit it in before Friday. And today I'm going to go through the last coding activity in the CS First curriculum. If you complete the activity and you do it the way you're supposed to, you can earn a 100 on any 0 that you're missing. So you can use it as kind of like a way to take away one of your zeros. So if you want to get one of your zeros into a 100, you can do today's project. Now, if you've already, which honestly, there's only like 3 kids who have done everything, and thank you so much. I'm just going to give a shout out to Eric. I'm so proud of you. Eric submits his work every week. He has it submitted in the day before it's due. He always does it exactly the way it's supposed to be done. It does the add-ons. I mean, it's amazing. So I'm just giving a shout out to Eric. And so if you are somebody who has already done everything, I'm going to give a 20-point bonus. So that means whatever your lowest grade is on any of the assignments, I'll just add 20 points. So I'm trying to make this very generous. So again, if you have a lot of zeros and you want to do the bonus, you could turn one of your zeros into a 100 if you do the bonus correctly. And you still have until Friday to do any of the missing ones and receive late credit for them. So I'm trying to really give you a chance. I would just hate for you to have that on your report card, have like a 23. I mean, that's so sad. I mean, your name's on there, right? So I don't know. I guess it's just one of those things, right? You have to think about, what am I representing here? What did my effort? I'm never looking for perfection. That's just not the kind of person I am. I always just look for effort. Are you trying? Did you make a best effort? Even with the coding, I don't like take off a ton of points if you missed a few of the things. I try to just look at it and see what you were doing. Did you make a pretty good attempt at it? It looks like you put in the effort. That's really all I'm looking for. Because, in life, we're never going to be able to get everything perfect, but it's about where our heart is. Are we really trying? Are we putting in the effort? If we are, then of course we're going to get better and better at something. It might take us a while, might be a little bit rocky in the beginning, but it really comes down to our effort, because our effort is where our heart is, and it shows that we care. And so I feel like I've given you so many opportunities to show where your heart is this year. And again, I never was looking for perfection. I was just looking to see, was your heart in the right place? Were you really putting in the effort and trying your best with the work? And if you just, checked out and you just were like, whatever, I don't feel like doing this, then obviously you're not putting in any effort and your heart isn't in the right place. So, okay, so I'm going to go through this last activity with you on the video. And so this is our bonus one. So the ones that count are the quest game we did, the launcher game, the escape game, the platform game, the maze game, the racing game, and the gaming story. Those are all the ones that we did before. And this is the cave surfing game. So this will be our bonus one. And I hope that you've been able to have fun with these. I mean, that was kind of the goal of the whole thing, is for you to be able to have fun with doing this, right? Like, you want to be able to make sure that you're actually learning something, but you're having fun while you're doing it, right? So I'm going to go through this with you guys. So let me shut off my video, and then I'm going to start the video here. So let's go through the cave surfing game.
Hey, and welcome to Scratch Games Day 8. Today, you'll create a side-scrolling game while learning about if-else statements. You might be familiar with recent side-scrolling games like Helicopter and Flappy Bird. You'll notice that in these games, the sprite only moves up and down. The illusion of moving forward is created by moving the background. To create today's game, you'll also learn about if-else statements. If-else statements are very similar to if statements. Remember, an if statement reads like this. If a condition is true, do this action, or else do nothing. An if-else statement reads like this. If a condition is true, do this action, or else do this action instead. If-else statements are useful because it lets you specify a default action. Watch how if-else statements are used to program video games. In Tetris, the best-selling video game of all time, the user must manipulate falling shapes to arrange them into rows. If the user presses the down arrow, the falling shapes fall down really fast. Else, they fall down at the regular speed. An if-else statement is useful here because the falling shapes need to do one action all the time, but switch to doing another action when something specific happens. In Plants vs. Zombies, the user must defeat waves of zombies using plants with special powers. If there is a zombie near the scary shroom, it cowers down and doesn't shoot. Else, it continuously shoots at the zombies. Just like the creators of those popular games, you'll use if-else statements to build your project today. In this game, a sprite is controlled using an if-else statement. For example, if the spacebar is being pressed, then go up, else go down. Before moving on to the next screencast, click and open the starter project link next to this page. Once you've completed the screencast, move on to the next screencast to learn how to create a scrolling background.
Okay, so let's go open up our starter project. So we're doing the cave surfing game. So I'm going to open it up, and then again, if you are choosing to do this, make sure that you write your name, and you could actually just write bonus cave surfing game, and that way I'll know that you're doing the bonus. Then just do file save now, and then let's move on to the next video. So we're gonna, let me put this on.
In this video, you'll program the background sprites to scroll. In the starter project, 3 different cave sprites act as the background. The first cave sprite is red, the second is blue, and the third is green. In this example, one cave sprite closely follows the next, forming what looks like a continuous scrolling background. In the starter project, there is code that's been added to each cave sprite. This code starts the first cave at x times 480, the second at 2 times 480, and the third at 3 times 480. The code also contains a variable, distance traveled. Each time these loops run, each sprite goes to a new position based on the value of distance traveled. You can imagine how this might look outside of the Scratch viewer. Imagine you have 3 sprites that are all 480 pixels wide. You need to set the first to start with an x value of 480, the second to start with an x value of 2 times 480, or 960, and the third to start at an x value of 3 times 480, or 1140. The distance traveled variable increases as the sprite moves, advancing the background sprites. When distance traveled equals 0, the sprites stay at the current position. When distance traveled equals 1, the sprites all move to the left 1 step. When distance traveled equals 2, the sprites all move to the left another step, and so on until the backdrop has scrolled all the way across the stage. To make the backdrop scroll, program the distance traveled variable to increase throughout the game. Click the player sprite and drag out a change distance traveled block. Add a when flag clicked block above this. Click the flag a few times to test this code. Each time the program runs, the value of distance traveled goes up by 1 and the caves move 1 step to the left. If you try a higher value, like 50, you can scroll through all the caves just by running the code a few times. Next, increase the value of distance traveled repeatedly. Add a forever loop from the control menu to the change block. Click the flag to test. Whoa, that was fast. If you click the flag to test again, the program won't run. The distance traveled variable holds a value. When you start the game, the variable is still holding the value of the distance traveled from the last game. To fix this bug, add a set distance traveled to 0 block under the when flag clicked block to reset the game. Click the flag to test. Great! The distance traveled variable starts at 0, then increases. Tinker with the value in the change distance traveled block until the sprites scroll across the screen at a pace you like. Now it's your turn. Add a change distance traveled by block and a green flag event, a forever loop, and a set distance traveled to block. Program the distance traveled variable to increase throughout the game. Set the distance traveled to 0 when the flag is clicked.
Okay, so let's go and add this code. So we're going to go into our parrot and let's get our when flag is clicked. Let's get our forever block. Let's get our what color was that one? Set distance block and change distance block. So in variables, so we want to set our distance to 0 and then change our distance by 50. So now you can test it out and you can see that it's good. Okay, perfect, great job. Oh, oops, I'm sorry, I did the wrong thing. This should be 5, 50. Okay. All right, so now let's go on to the next one. In this video, you'll program the player sprite's flight through the caves. To program the sprite to go up when the user presses the spacebar and fall if the user stops pressing the spacebar, use a conditional statement. Click the player sprite and drag out an if-else statement. Select Sensing and add a space key press block. If the user presses the spacebar, the parrot should move up, so add a change Y block in the then portion of the block. This example uses 5 in the change Y block. If the user is not pressing the spacebar, the sprite should move down, so add a change Y block to the else and change the value to something negative. This example uses a value of -5. Now this reads, if the player presses the spacebar, move up, else move down. Remember to test your code often to make sure everything is working the way you want it. The sprite moves up when you press the spacebar and moves down when you let it go. Next, make the sprite look like it's flying using switch costume blocks. This may look different depending on the sprite that you chose to be your player. Remember to test your code often to make sure everything is working the way you want it. Now it's your turn. Make this. Okay, so we're going to add the code now to make our parrot move up and down. So we need to get our if block, because if our space key is pressed, we're changing Y by 5. And if it's not, then we're changing Y by -5. So let's go ahead and find some of our blocks here. Let's get our conditional block. Let's get our, we want space key is pressed. Then we want to get our change Y by 5. And then we're going to change our costume. Switch costume to parrot A. And then we need our else block. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, I used the wrong block. We want the if else. Because we have the first condition and then we have the second condition. So our second condition is the change Y by -5. Because we're moving it up and down, right? So, and then let me change the costume on that one to B. So now, if I press space, I'm pressing space bar, and I can make the parrot go up when I press space bar. And then of course it goes down when I let the space bar go. So it is working. So perfect. Now we need to make this game a little bit more challenging. In this video, you'll program winning and losing conditions for your game. To start, program a winning condition. The finish line in this game is green. The player will win if the sprite touches the color green. Click the sprite, drag an if block into the forever loop, and add a touching color block from Sensing. To select the finish line color, play the game until the finish line is on the stage. Then select the color swatch and click the finish line.
If the sprite reaches the finish line, the game should stop. Add a stop all block from control. Program something awesome to happen when the sprite wins. Add code above the stop all block. This sprite could play a sound, say something, switch to a celebratory costume that you drew, anything you'd like. Next, program a losing condition. Gameplay should stop if the player touches the edges of the cave. Notice that the edges of the cave are all black lines. To program a losing condition, program the game to check if the sprite is touching black. From the control menu, drag an if statement into the forever block. Select the sensing menu and drag out a touching color block as a condition. Click the color swatch, then the black cave edges to select it. If the player touches the cave edges, all code in the game should stop. To stop all code in the program, use a stop all block from control. If you would like, add more activity to the losing condition. For example, change the costume to an explosion, play a sound, or use a say bubble to tell the player they lost. Add any other code for the losing condition above the stop all block. Then add a go to XY block and place it at the top of this stack. And enter where your sprite should start. Now it's your turn. Program winning and losing conditions.
Okay, so let's go in. We're going to add the code for the conditions for if touching the finish line and if touching any of the outlines of the cave, then obviously we're going to lose the game. So let's add that in. So I'm going to get 2 of my if statements here. And then I'm going to get some of my sensing because I want to get touching color, and let's try and get the right color. So you have to click in and let's do the first one. Oh, whoops. First one. I need to get to the finish line, so hang on. Let me get to the green color of the finish line. Okay, so there's finish line. Oh, whoops. Oh, darn it. Oh, wait a minute. Oh my gosh. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Sorry, I messed it up. Let me just stop it and then I'll get the color. Okay, hang on. Let me get the right color. Okay, so now we're getting this green color. Okay, and then for the, we want the black color. Oh, let me get the black color. Look at get it over here. Perfect. Okay, so what happens if we touch green? We're gonna say, we have to get the code for stop all. And then the game is going to say, you win. And if we touch the black, then obviously it's going to say you lose because we did not. Oh, oops. You lose. Okay, right, actually I'll just have it say game over. Game over. Try again. Okay, so now let me open the game a little bit bigger. So now I have to actually try to play the game. Which, oh no, oh shoot. Oh, oh, I know what I forgot to do. Shoot, I forgot to add in the beginning. We have to change where our bird is. So we have to set, it was this block that we needed. The, where was it? They had it, let me see if they show it. The last block where you had to set the position of your parrot.
Then add features to your winning and losing conditions to make gameplay more exciting.
I know we forgot that one. It was, let's see. Oh, it was this one, the go to XY block. So we forgot to add that one in. That should be at the beginning. So let's get that block because that's going to obviously change it a bit for us. So 0, 0. Okay. So now let me try the game. Oh my goodness. So now I have to, oh, I hit the black. Every time I hit one of the parts of the cave, I'm going to lose. Oh dear. I bet you guys are going to be way better at this than me. So this is, you're actually, oh, goodness, how did they make it look so easy getting there? Okay, so you are going to have to see if you can actually make the game and beat the game, because I don't think I'm doing so well at it. So you guys are going to have to try. But that's pretty much the game. So it's pretty fun. And you can, of course, share it with a friend. They can try it. And there's some add-ons, making your own music, adding another cave section, making the game harder, a lot of different things. So what I'm looking for is pretty much this basic game, because I feel like that's probably challenging enough here for all of us. If you could beat your own game, hey, that'd be great too. So if you can get the basic game operating and working correctly, send it to me and you can earn 100 towards any of your missing zeros. And if you've already done everything, you can earn 20 points on your lowest grade. So this is your bonus. It will be due by the 11th. So I need to have it by the 11th, okay? Because next week, what I'm going to do, just for the last week for fun, I'll just send out a video you guys can watch whenever, of just everybody's games that you've shared through this time. I'll just kind of make a little video and I'll try to share all the games on it. So you guys can see each other's games. But if you do want to get the bonus, you do need to get it to me by the 11th, which is Friday. Okay, so you really just have this week. And so that's it. Have fun if you do decide to do it, and you can get that extra credit. All right, but remember, anything that really was due, it's also due by the 11th as well. Okay, see ya. Bye.